going on, Jerome's? So, yes, your Minnesota Fighting Vikings could and should be looking for their quarterback of the future, and there's a lot of speculation. There's a lot of rumors and innuendo as Vikings are chilling with 2 first-round picks. Do they move into the top 2, 3, 4, 5? And who do they target specifically? Is it going to be Jaden Daniels? Is it going to be Drake Maye? Is it going to be Michael Penix Jr.? Or is it going to be JJ McCarthy? Now, I do think that the hype around JJ McCarthy is legit. I think that it is league-driven. I don't think it's a media creation like Greg Cosell mentioned. I do not see this as a Will Levis situation. I think that the hype is genuinely real because you can see the traits, you can see the potential, and that's what the NFL draft is all about, the potential. How does this player scale for the next 5 to 10 years versus, what do you do in college? But we haven't quite seen where the Vikings make a move, trade up for specifically McCarthy. There's a lot of mock drafts where they settle for McCarthy, at pick 4 or 5. But also, like we said, it could be a spot where the Vikings are very similarly graded on a number of these quarterbacks, and that's just how the board shakes out. But 33rd team, Ian Valentino over there doing some great work. The Vikings did just that. So they trade up to 3, and they took McCarthy with Drake Maye still on board. So you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. So Caleb Williams at 1. I'm just waiting for a mock draft where Caleb Williams doesn't go 1. I just, that's coming because we still got like 4 weeks till the draft. You know that one of those is going to drop. It's like, is Caleb Williams a lock to be number 1? Nah. Number 2, Commies Jaden Daniels, where, yes, I think the fan base is scared of another RG3 situation, but Jaden Daniels is a better passer. Hopefully he can add some more size to his frame. He is 6'4", as well as, the Commies' new ownership, Magic Johnson Company, they want box office, and Jaden Daniels will put up some highlight reel plays, and I think that he could be very successful with Scary Terry in D.C. Trade. So the Vikings give up. What do we give up? So we give up 11, 23, and the 2025 first-round pick for 3 and a third-round pick next year. So that's probably what's going to cost to get up to 3. I think the nice thing about if the Vikings trade up to 4 or 5, they may not have to include that future first-rounder, but if the Vikings want to get up and have their choice of multiple quarterbacks, I think that the first it's probably going to be part of the package. But the Vikings trade up and take JJ McCarthy over Drake Maye. Here's the write-up on JJ McCarthy. Fit. We know the Minnesota Vikings want to trade up. How do you know? But it'll be a pricey endeavor. New England has a ton of needs, so while trading out of a quarterback here is painful, the team would benefit from adding an extra first-round pick in 2024 and 2025. In exchange, Minnesota gets its choice of QB3 options. McCarthy is getting a lot of buzz right now. He's a more fluid athlete and has a stronger arm than Maye. I don't know about the stronger arm. How do you know about the more fluid athlete? Both players project well in Kevin O'Connell's offense, but the McCarthy train wins out in this mock down. I will say that you can see the pluses and the minuses of both Maye and McCarthy. Now, I think McCarthy probably has a higher floor. I think that he does have a decently high ceiling. I think that he is scaling upward, and I think that his game does project to the next level. Also, I think that he will operate within the framework of the offense, which is exactly what Kevin O'Connell wants. Now, Drake Maye is a bit of a wild card, man. Where maybe JJ McCarthy is the Boy Scout who never did anything wrong and always listens to everyone. Drake Maye's got a Firebird and smoking cigarettes in the high school bathroom. That's what he's doing. I don't know how all my high school references are like from The Breakfast Club. Hey. But Drake Maye is a little bit of a rebel, and he will make plays out of structure that will make you tear your hair out, but he'll also make plays that will be like, oh my God. So it is a risk tolerance thing where you're trading up to 3, and now do you want to gamble on a relatively low risk proposition? So JJ McCarthy is like a treasury bill or utility stock, right? Or an S&P 500 stock, right? And then Drake Maye is that penny stock. Drake Maye is that startup. Drake Maye is that high risk, high reward spot. So that's what it is. And basically, what do the Vikings want in this spot? So if it's McCarthy, I understand it. I think that Specifically for the Vikings, McCarthy can sit for a year and grow and show and work on his footwork and also work on his touch, so everything doesn't have to be a fastball, and also work on becoming more of a volume passer, but also in terms of who is best suited coming from a pro-style offense, who has the best footwork in terms of play action, who has the most experience under center. It's McCarthy, right? Or do they think that if Drake Maye sits for a year behind Darnold, that they can fix some of his bad habits, they can clean up some of his footwork? Obviously, the connection with McCown is important too, and then go from there. I mean, it's certainly interesting. And also, I want Washington to just completely rock our socks off and just take McCarthy at 2, just to see anarchy. That's what I want, because the NFL draft is now just a show. I want drama. I want drama on Thursday night, man. Rest of this mock draft, since it's fun to go through things. Arizona 6 and picks. Harrison. Chargers go with Joe Alt. I think that Harbaugh is going to go offensive line here 10 times out of 10. Giants take Drake Maye. So you got the uber high variance mobile quarterback, and I'm not saying that Drake Maye is Daniel Jones. And also it's kind of funny that they got that Duke North Carolina thing going on now in that quarterback room. It's kind of funny, but yeah, Daniel Jones time over. You're done. Olafashanu going to the Titans. He and Skoronski. That's a nice duo on the left side. Dallas Turner goes to the Falcons. Malik Neighbors goes to the Bears. I hate that. That's going to be a pain in the ass. Rome Odunze to the Jets. So the Patriots first to 2 picks from the Vikings, so they take the supersized tackle Amarius Mims. Speaking of rolling the dice on a physical freak, the Broncos take Bo Nix. So Michael Penix Jr. is not quarterback 5 off the board. Bo Nix. Now, a lot of people do compare Nix to Drew Brees. I think it's mainly because of the height. Like Nix is not the tallest dude in the world. Does have sizable hands, but I think Brees, I mean, even before he got his shoulder wrecked, he did have a lot better vertical arm strength. So, nah. Raiders taking Quinion. Saints taking BTJ. I think I like that. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, they finally got a decent wide receiver named Thomas. Colts taking Brock Bowers. All right, so you got the Florida Georgia line connection there. You got the world's largest outdoor cocktail party as a nice battery going from Richardson to Bowers. I kind of like that. Seahawks Terry Arnold. I think it's a pretty good fit. So Arnold and Spoon long term, and also you throw in Woolen, and hopefully he can get right after year 2 shenanigans. And I mean, that's one of the best young cornerback trios in the league, man. There you go. Jaguars, Xavier Worthy. He likes to go fast. J.C. Latham going to the Bengals. Finally getting some protection for jumping Joe Burrow. Jared Verse to the Rams. I kind of like that. I know that, hey, Aaron Donald left, so we need someone. But Jared Verse on the edge with Byron Young. Kobe Turner at the nose. It's pretty good. It's pretty good, man. Talisa Fuaga going to the Steelers. Interesting that he fell this far, but I think it's just different strokes, different folks in terms of tackles. That's what's interesting about the tackle and wide receiver class, is that it's basically pick your poison. What's your flavor in terms of position, because there's a lot of different styles matching up with some of these other teams. Graham Barton going to the Dolphins. He'll start day 1 at center, like taking over for Connor Williams. I think that's a phenomenal pick, and also an outside zone scheme that the Dolphins love using with McDaniel. I mean, Barton's absolutely got those movement skills down to a T. Kool-Aid, probably the best press man corner in the class, goes to Philly. Donovan Mitchell goes to the Patriots with the Vikings' 23rd pick. So the Patriots they got Mims at 11, and then they got Mitchell at 23. So I kind of like, or I don't know, like Mitchell sort of had 1 year of good production. Like he really never got the time of day in Georgia. So I'm not ready to buy in. Not quite yet. But also, like we said, it's about what this player projects to be in the next 5-10 years, not what he did in college. So I get it. The Cowboys, Troy Fatanu. Now, this is a great pick. Now, uber athletic, great hands, great reaction skills, a great job resetting, great agility. So he could play anywhere. He could play maybe left tackle. Maybe they put Tyler Smith of Tulsa out at left tackle. He could certainly play guard. He's going to be good to go, man. Packers taking Jordan Morgan. I hate it because Jordan Morgan is a dog, man. Like, he brings an edge to the Packers offensive line. So Zach Tom, as well as Elton Jenkins. It's a nice trio along the offensive line there. Bucks, Cooper DeJean. So they do need some revamping in the secondary. And DeJean and Winfield together, just 2 Midwest kids, just getting it done, man. Gotta love it. Also, what's interesting, I feel like some comps have Coop comp to Winfield. Like a combination of Winfield Jr. and Honey Badger. Something like that. Cardinals get Johnny Newton out of Illinois. So they get Harrison Jr. and Johnny Newton, Big Ten representing out in the desert. The Bills taking Latu. That's a great pick. That's a phenomenal pick. Where Von Miller's whatever at this point, but Latu, if his medicals check out, he's got that power. He's got the suite of pass rushing moves, and he's super quick. I mean, he's going to be a lot of fun with the Bills. I mean, McDermott has got to be praising all out. They finally got himself a real talisman on the edge there. 29, you got the Lions. Kingsley Suamataia coming out of BYU. Now, Kingsley's sort of a fringe, like fringe early day 2 guy. I think this is the highest I've seen him in a mock draft. But the Lions planning for life after Decker, and probably going to kick Penei Sewell over the left tackle eventually. So there you go. Probably kick Kingsley inside for a hot second too. Ravens, Byron Murphy the second. So again, just the Ravens reloading along the defensive line. So Madubuike and Murphy. I mean, come on. Then Tyler Guyton goes to the Niners and put him at right tackle, and also some potential estate planning for when Trent Williams hangs him up. And then a trade. Ooh, the Patriots. Patriots getting things done. So the Patriots move from 34 to 32, and also they give up a 137. That's what, fifth rounder? Doesn't matter. But then they get Michael Penix Jr. So 6 quarterbacks in the first round. Penix with the Patriots. So the Patriots are a ways away, but I think that Penix sitting behind Jabroni Brisket for a hot second could be good, and I sort of like that fit with him and Mayo. I think they'll connect, even though Mayo's a defensive guy. But Penix, he's going to be himself, and he's super competitive. Plus, his zip will be perfectly fine. Those late winter games in Foxborough, I really like that fit. Where Patriots aren't going to be competitive for a couple of seasons, probably, but once they stack up talent around him, and plus they did have that extra first rounder this year from the Vikings, as well as an extra first rounder next year from the Vikes. Hopefully, that's very low. Maybe 32. Who knows? I think the Patriots' future is pretty bright. But what's important here is that the Vikings getting up to 3. Now, you could say, well, let's just trade up to 4 or 5, and then we can just take McCarthy there. I mean, that's fine, but what if a team like the Giants or the Broncos were interested in trading up to 3, and then they were trying to jump the line for McCarthy? And hell, it could be a spot too. Like, we don't know what the Vikings board is. Like, we can't get inside the heads of O'Connell and McCown and Kwesi, and maybe they do have McCarthy ahead of Drake Maye. Like, I don't think it's the most insane thing in the world, given that Maye is high variance and McCarthy is seemingly a lot safer investment. I hate the term pro-ready, but you can make a good case that McCarthy is probably the most pro-ready quarterback of in the class, and that's weird because he's one of the youngest. So there you go. But also he's a 3-year starter at a major school and ran a pro-style offense for 3 years and got better every single season. But other than that, pooey. But that's it. Take a look at the 33rd mocks, latest mock draft for. I don't know. Like, I feel like there would be anarchy in the streets. I mean, there's a lot of Maye supporters. There's a lot of McCarthy supporters. There's a hell of a lot of Bo Nix supporters as well. But if they do this, they got to be right, especially since they gave up that 2025 first rounder. But that's it. You guys know what to do. Skull, production value.